Some changes also happening in the Oakland schools with a recent announcement of the retirement of longtime Superintendent Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson, a familiar face, taking over the very important role at her intermediate school district, or ISD. Former Walled Lake Schools Superintendent and currently Deputy Superintendent of Oakland Schools, Ken Gutman, recently appointed as the incoming Superintendent of Oakland Schools. And he joins us now on the Splash Live. Ken, thank you for being with us.
You bet. Good morning, Tyler. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Ken? And congratulations on the new gig.
Oh, thank you so much. It's not as exciting as being in the path of totality, but I'm happy and excited to get started.
Yeah, so let's talk about this change because you got some big shoes to fill with Dr. Cook-Robinson retiring, and it's an important time too. There's been a lot of changes in our schools in the past several years, a lot of treachery that's had to be navigated through by the entire team at Oakland Schools. And now that we're kind of through that, or at least figuring out how to cope with that, as you enter this new role, what are some of your immediate goals and immediate challenges?
Well, first, though, Tyler, I appreciate the question and I will get to it, but I do want to share that those are indeed big shoes to fill. That Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson is a legend and an earned legend in our business, that she is not just award winning, she cares about kids, and we will miss her here at the ISD and throughout Oakland County. It's truly been a blessing, and I don't use that word that often. It's been a blessing to work with her for the past 16 years, and particularly the last 2 here at Oakland Schools. In terms of my role, first of all, we are an organization that is successful, but I don't know that everyone knows what we do. So one of my first priorities is, from the external perspective, to share what we do here at Oakland Schools, to share that with our district, to get into school districts and work with superintendents, their cabinets, their administrators, and their staff to make sure that everyone understands what we do here, but also to understand what we can do better. From an internal perspective, it's the same thing. I want to make sure that we're providing the best opportunities we can for our staff here, and that we're doing what's best ultimately for the more than 175,000 students in our 28 districts and 23 charter schools throughout the county.
Yeah, nearly 10 years on the job as superintendent for Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson. And as you said, a legend in this space in our community, having joined the executive cabinet in February of 2012, has seen this community through so many different changes and so many different events. And Ken, as you mentioned, your goals early on, which are including making the community more familiar with the work of Oakland Schools. How has what you've learned working over the past couple of years in this role under Dr. Cook-Robinson, how is that helping to inform the way that you're going to move forward under your administration, growing Oakland Schools into the next generation?
Yeah, great question. And quite frankly, the last 2 years have been illuminating for me. I was a superintendent for 14 years in this county, but at a local district, 2 local districts, never here at the intermediate school district. And so having had the opportunity to spend 2 years learning what we actually do, because in a local district, you still don't know, no matter what level you are, or no matter at what level you're working, you don't always know what the ISD does. You know the support they provide, you feel it, but you can't put I don't know that you can put a label on everything that's done at the ISD. I've learned a lot from Dr. Cook-Robinson. I've learned a lot from our staff here. I've spent a lot of time going out over the last couple of years. I've been in all 28 districts a number of times, visiting with superintendents and staff, and I've learned a lot about the needs of the county. And so from my perspective, there's a lot we can do if we just listen to our locals, and we also work really closely with what we have as an excellent school board here. We have a 5-person school board. They are phenomenal. They're child-centered. They are visionary, and they hold us accountable. And so I've learned a lot from them as well.
Oakland Schools Deputy Superintendent, soon to be Oakland Schools Superintendent, Kenneth Gutman is with us on the Splash Live. You can learn more about Oakland Schools on their website, oakland.k12.mi.us, and also go to your local school district's website for even more connections to Oakland Schools. And Ken, you mentioned you had been a superintendent before being named a deputy superintendent with Oakland Schools for 14 years. You've seen the school districts in our local area go through enrollment troubles, financial issues with the housing crisis in 2008 and before that. You've seen the COVID-19 pandemic especially, and navigating that with help from Oakland Schools in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District in the latter years of your reign as superintendent there. So how does that experience help to inform you about the ways that Oakland Schools is currently helping our local school districts and the ways that that's got to continue to evolve in the years to come?
And one of the biggest challenges I think we have going forward, and certainly I learned a lot over the last 16 years in similar roles, but one of the biggest challenges we have is the new leadership across the county. When you look out at the number of superintendents we have who are in their first 3 years, and you look at the turnover that's expected this year, we have some really good people coming into the profession. They just don't have the experience in the role. So one of the things we do here is we spend time mentoring and working with superintendents to help them grow into the role, to be someone to bounce ideas off of, to be here as a resource, a sounding board, to help them through financial issues and political issues and human resources issues. I think it's a really important role for the intermediate school district. I know over the next year or so, as federal money begins to wane and run out, we'll be looking at potentially what everyone's calling a financial cliff. Well, how do we avoid getting there in local districts? How do we make sure that they're financially sound? And so we have plenty of challenges ahead of us, but having had the experience of worked in local districts, I have a sense and certainly can learn more, but a sense of what local superintendents need for support.
Kenneth Gutman is with us from Oakland Schools, currently their deputy superintendent. Soon will become their superintendent after being named the successor to longtime Oakland Schools superintendent Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson, who is retiring later on this year after serving as superintendent since 2015. Ken, as we go through all this change that we've gone through in recent years and continue to go into some more changes and transitions in the years ahead, what do you believe at this point in time that the role of the ISD, an intermediate school district, is?
Yeah, I think it's the role that it's always been, but perhaps it's even more intense, Tyler. Our job is to provide supports and services for districts, to train teachers and administrators in the latest research-based methods, to pilot programs, to coordinate early childhood, special ed, vocational services across here in the region, to work with those across the state of Michigan to make sure that we have a cohesive education system. I believe that's going to continue, and I think it's more intense because there's more scrutiny, and that's okay. I do think that we need to make sure that what we do is transparent, that what we do is in the best interest of districts and the best interest of children. The moment we forget that it's about children, we're in the wrong place. And so a lot of what we're already doing is really good here. I can tell you the staff with whom I work here, they're phenomenal, but we can always get better.
And collaboration is going to be a huge part of that too. And we've seen in recent years that school districts have continued to partner on major projects or educational initiatives. I think about just some recent news of seeing the partnerships with the Math Pentathlon and that being hosted at in the Bloomfield Hills School District. Participation here locally from another one of our 7 school districts in the greater West Bloomfield community in West Bloomfield. And given your experience, having been an educator, having been a local administrator, a local superintendent, and understanding the role of collaboration, how is that playing into what you see as a big role in the future for Oakland schools?
Well, it's everything. They're all our children, right? I mean, certainly you see some healthy competition. I know that there are some superintendents who love to compete over scores, but it has to go beyond that. Every child in our county, in our state, in our country, they're all our children. And if we don't collaborate, if we're not working together, if we're competing to the degree that we're depriving each other of resources and opportunities, we're not doing what's best for children. And so collaboration plays a huge role in our county, in our state, in our country. And the more districts can get together and work together for a common purpose, the better off our children will be.
Kenneth Gutman is with us, soon to be named the superintendent of Oakland Schools, our intermediate school district. More information can be found on oakland.k12.mi.us. You can also find them on their Facebook page as well. And Ken, before we let you go, anything else that we should know at this time about your plans coming in for the transition from Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson's administration to yours, or what you see as being kind of those key points of the future of Oakland schools and its collaboration day to day with our local school districts?
Well, first of all, and most importantly to me, I want to see Dr. Cook-Robinson go out on her terms and enjoy her last 4 or 5 months here. She's had a decorated and well-deserved decorated career. And I want to make sure that she goes out and feels great about that opportunity to leave on top. Aside from that, I certainly want to start working with our staff and our districts and our community to make sure that everything we're doing, again, I know I say it a lot, but that everything we do is about children. And so if we're not focused on that, we're focused in the wrong area. I want to make sure I get off to a good start when I move next door. But ultimately, it's a nice long transition with a trusted partner in Dr. Cook-Robinson. We have some great superintendents and leaders across the county. It's great people here in this building and in this organization and our 4 technical campuses. Great projects like a business residency. We can talk about that another time if you like, or our project Leo. So many great things happening. I want to continue that, improve upon that, and take us into the future in the most positive way possible.
More information can be found on ongoing and upcoming programs and initiatives from Oakland schools at oakland.k12.mi.us. Ken, thank you so much for your time today.
Always a pleasure, Tyler. Thank you.